Hey, so I'm back. I wanted to, to be honest, I forgot about the Braxton Family Values premiering tonight. So as you can tell by the title, that's what I'm going to be talking about. This first episode, not my mama. Now I'm going to try to do this every week, but starting the week after next, I'll be back on my regular work shift, which is in the evening, so I don't get off until like 9 at night. So I'll have to probably catch it later and probably have to upload a little bit later. But I'm going to try to be on time for this week and next week. So, jumping right into it, happy to see another season. I do enjoy this show because it kind of gives a different spin to family-based reality television. So, I was hoping this season they'll get along the whole season. But, of course, I know that doesn't make for good television. So, pretty sure they're going to have some type of blow-up as stated in the previews. Yeah. So, I was glad to see that Tamar was feeling better than they did. Um... They did film some of that. I didn't watch Tamar and Vince, unfortunately. I didn't watch Tamar and Vince, so I don't know if they really talked about in depth her sickness and her being on Dancing with the Stars and getting sick and whatever the case was. So I don't really know what happened with that. But again, glad she is feeling better. Y'all forgive my shirt. Yeah. And then they took a trip to Atlanta for this coming of age party. Now, Twanda, girl, this was a fool. I mean, it would have been uncomfortable for anybody. I'm sure of it. Yeah, because you want us to get your whole group of 5 grown women who all have kids to talk to a 9-year-old about the birds and the bees. All right. But anyway, moving right along, these questions was a fool. Brooke is a little cute little girl. This is just commentary, basically. Brooke is very cute. She looks like Andre with Tawanda's little frame and build, her little thin face and stuff. But she got a little heavy voice like Tony. Like it was like Auntie Tracy. It was cute. It was kind of how Miss E had described Tony in a previous interview some time ago. She always said that, how most kids would be like, "Good morning, mommy," and Miss E said the tone was like, "Good morning, mommy." That was funny to me. But anyway, them questions was yeah. But I mean, I guess I kind of see where Tawanda was coming from because most kids are starting earlier and earlier in this particular day and time. So hopefully, if they have this conversation now, they'll feel comfortable, or Brooke will feel comfortable enough to talk to her about whatever the situation is, or whatever the situation is. I'm not editing this either. Whatever the situation is, and whatever other situations may arise in the future. Moving right along. So I did not know Miss E had a mini stroke. Like I don't know where I missed that at last season. But I'm glad that she's feeling better. Hope that she continues to do better. Because I can only imagine nobody wants to lose a parent. Let alone a mother when that's all you really know. Because for the bigger part of the last, say, 20 or so years, I think that's what they said. It's just been pretty much them and their mom. So, yeah, and what I've always noticed, and I think it's so cute, how when Tony comes into a room, Miss E always addresses Tony as little girl. She was like, "Hey, little girl," as if Tony's not the oldest, but I guess in stature size, she actually is the smallest sister. Yeah, because she's like really, really short and stuff. But yeah, about this whole getting Miss E to LA, I knew that was coming because, yeah, I just knew that was coming. Now, for Tawanda to want to keep her in, well, Tawanda didn't really have a say in the whole brunch deal, and this is me jumping ahead, but yeah, I can understand why I understand why Tamar and Tony want to get her to LA because there's more availability, although there's good availability for different doctors, specialists, etc. in Atlanta, and I'm sure they can be found. I think it's more so those are the two sisters because they're the oldest and the youngest. They generally have I don't know, they just have a different type of relationship with parents. The oldest and the youngest always does. The youngest tends to feel like that's my mom and nobody else's, i.e. Tamar. And the oldest feels like she has to watch over everything for the most part. So I knew they were going to try to get her to LA. Anyway, skipping along to the next segment because I'm trying to keep this under a certain amount of time. Tracy's segment, her having to have a hysterectomy, she's around about that age, and a lot of women have that issue. I know some personally in my own life who have had to have that hysterectomy because they're having this bleeding issue. And for whatever reason, a lot of women don't want to have it. I don't know whether it be to, avoid having to go under the knife, which I guess can be scary as well, having to be sedated, if you will, under general anesthesia. Yeah, it's not a comforting feeling, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do for the bigger picture. So, I don't know if Tracy's had it yet, but if she has not, good luck on that, Tracy. We'll be praying for you, because, yeah, we fucks with you, Tracy. She real. I likes her. Now, this persistent genital arousal disorder, bitch. Now, why that does not sound like a problem, because it's plenty of bitches in the world that can't get a nut if they life depended on it. And, bitch, here you go getting them every day, several times a day. You's a lucky ass woman for most girls, because I know some girls who have never ever ever. I ain't gonna say never, but they real few and real far in damn between. Okay, but like the lady said on her talk show, girl, I guess it could be nerve wracking to always be doing that. So yeah, I guess I'm slightly with Trina on this one. I kind of threw up in my mouth a little bit while I was watching it. Yeah, it was ooh. It was, it make your mouth water just like, Anyhow, so the brunch. This was my side note from the brunch, and I took some notes. So yeah, if you see me looking off, I'm either A, looking at my monitor right here on my phone, or at my laptop right here with my notes. So for the brunch, Miss E's wig, this is my side note. Her wig seems for this quarter are on point. They're extra full, extra curly, and doing extra stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. They are on this quarter. Go ahead, Miss E, get you a pieces. But yeah, with the brunch coming up, I knew this was gonna be. I figured this was gonna be the first real blow up, and it's shaping up to be the first blow up of the season. Because you have the LA sisters who want their mom there with them, and then you have the East Coast sisters who want their mom there with them. Now, I kind of get it for for Tamar, because although she does work her show, and you know what, I don't get it, now that I say that, because she's working a TV show multiple days throughout the week, and then she also is touring, and I assume she's still doing some tours and some shows, or either she'll be getting back into that soon. And if you know Tamar's track record, when she has set in her mind that she wants to do music and she wants to tour and do shows and she has to work, that's what she's going to do. So she won't be there every day, although she has a nanny, a babysitter, and this, that, and the third at her house at all times. Is not the same thing as you. I know personally, and this is even with family, other, not immediate family, but other family members, they won't attend to my mama like I'll attend to my mama. Now, I will say sometimes, she tap dances on my nerves. That does happen, but everybody tap dances on my nerves from time to time, so it's no tease. But nobody is more attentive than me. Nobody's going to know when she's feeling a kind of way or that kind of thing like me. So I get that. But at the same time, leaving her with the help is kind of still the same difference as if she was at her own house with the other daughters, like you said, an hour away or so, 30 minutes, 45 minutes away from where she is. The simple solution to that, she could find a closer condo out towards them, or I don't know if the sisters are wanting to move closer into town, into the metro area, but there are simple fixes to that without having to uproot her and move her all the way across the country, because she said herself that she'd much rather stay in Atlanta and do some things for herself. And it's like this, although these are our mamas, and after they get a certain age, because me and my mama was talking about it the other day, there's this book she gave me that said, I love you forever, I love you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby, you'll be. In this book, it is demonstrated a picture how the mother cares for the child when they're young, from carrying them around to doing everything for them until they somewhere in the middle become equals, and then it goes in reverse to where the child has to care for the parent. And they are somewhat at this age, but Miss E actually gets around, appears to get around and do a little bit better than a lot of people. Like, she can live by herself, and you can easily call and check on her, but she's not to a point where she's needing someone's help every day. And that day may come. So I really think that Tamar needs to let that ride. And Miss E, like Miss E said, she wants to stay in Atlanta and do things for herself. Stop trying to be selfish, because I thought it was funny that Tamar said that she thought the other sisters were being selfish. But no, when Miss E said she wanted to stay in Atlanta, you had the whole breakdown and cry fit because it appeared because you didn't get your way and you feel like nobody's going to be able to watch your mama like you can in LA. So you in turn were being selfish. No matter what you think, and this kills me with church people, people of faith in general. And this is sidetrack. People kill me all the time. They say they believe in Christ, they believe in this, they believe in that, and they believe that whatever is going to be, some people believe like me, whatever will be, will be. You have to have faith that it's going to, I believe you have to have faith that it's going to work out for you, or it's going to work out how it should be, because everything that you want to do is not always what you should do. And sometimes it works out where you don't do it and you can look back in hindsight and see, okay, great, that was wonderful. Sidetrack even more, because me personally, I was supposed to do a pageant back in March, and I was slick devastated about it, about me not being able to do it. And I got all the way up until the day of, and then couldn't do it. And I've had some time to reflect on that, and I kind of know why things didn't happen. It's not what people think. People thought that I was scared out of the pageant because of another person. It's not the case, because before I laid down to take my nap, before getting up to get ready, because I have to get my naps, I knew that this person was in the pageant. So that didn't make me any difference. But someone I trusted, who was kind of advising me on the pageant, they called me kind of almost in a panic and a tizzy themselves about not doing the pageant because of. And they left the ball in my court, so I pretty much I knew that the reason I didn't do the pageant, I'll tell everybody, is because my talent didn't come together. All that is still my fault, because I didn't make sure that I had people, that I could trust, people that I could depend on to be in this talent with me. And maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I didn't decide on something definitive soon enough, and I can take all the credit for that. However, I just knew still it was going to work out, because I felt like I had a good package. I still had great clothes. I knew when it got to question and answer, I can talk, obviously, so I would be okay. So either way, I backed out of the pageant, because I trusted another person with my own future, if you will. So I backed out of the pageant. That's what had happened. Yeah. But I was just real bitter about it until recently. Because, after the pageant, this is me sidetracking, getting all of my life. After the pageant, the pageant was supposed to be on March the 6th. I had applied for let me backtrack, just kind of give you a timeline of how quick what happened. Pageant was on March the 6th. I went back to work the following week. I put in a job post, which is what we call it at the company I work for. I was going to say the name. I think we have commercials everywhere. Anyway, I was going to put in the commercial. Charlie said Geico. I put in for the job that maybe Wednesday or Thursday after coming back. Mind you, I only worked on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it had to be on Wednesday. I put in the job post. I had an interview on Thursday. On Friday, I got an email offering me the job for the new position. And I had to start the following Wednesday. So, since then, that's been since the middle of March, there have been so many other pageants that I would have been expected to appear at least do the walk or show my face, that I haven't been able to do because I've been in training and what we call transition, with my start times being for the first month 7:30 to 3:30, and for the last 6 weeks or 5 weeks at this point, 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So, and that's Monday through Friday. A lot of the pageants take place on Sunday. They run late. There was a pageant on Wednesday. This past Wednesday, they started at 7:30. Didn't get over until like 12 midnight. 2 hours away from my home. I would have had to try to get home, then go back to work and all that kind of thing. So it really wouldn't have panned out. So back to my point, all things work for the good. So what will be, will be. If Miss E feels like she wants to be alone and be in Atlanta, Tamar needs to let that happen. I really don't want the sisters to get into a big, I know all this happened already, I don't want them to get into a big old argument and this, that, and the third about what they think should be, because it's her life. She's still at a point of sound mind where she can choose what she wants to do. So it's only up to you to respect it, help as much as you can. And I did notice Tamar say she would be pissed off with her sisters if something happened to her mother, but that's nothing but God's plan. If you believe in God, like you say you believe in God, everything has to happen. Life is short, death is sure. That is gonna happen. It's what you put in between that kind of means something. So while you're living, you can do. Let that woman live. Let her do. You go and do as you please, Miss Tamar. So hey, I do think you were being selfish in that instance. But hey, as I digress. Moving on to my show. This is already longer than I intended for it to be. But as I digress. Yeah, they had another segment about Tracy and her talk show, and I was glad to see that was still going strong. I'm actually glad to see they had multiple segments about Tracy, because a lot of times Tracy seems to get left out. So I'm glad they're picking that up, and they kind of noticed the trends throughout the different season. Yeah. Back to, and I really like Tracy's red hair, the different styles of red hair. That's the tea. I like that. I think I want to do like a wig like that, but yeah. So Miss E wants to have a party, and then that was Tamar's opportune reason to get her back into LA to have the party at her house, and Tamar was gonna foot the bill. But I really think Miss E is finna pack Tamar and give her the shade of her life and go back home. Which is that, if that's what she wants to do, that's what she should do. Turn the fuck up. Side note, whatever happened to Miss E's life coach business she had going on, where Michael Lord Pierce was her assistant. That was about probably 2 or 3 seasons ago. But hey, nonetheless, wrapping this up, it ended pretty much with the sisters getting into a discussion that could have elevated or could escalate into a heated discussion or argument. And Tamar, again, is still walking away. I think a lot of their arguments blow up the way they do is because they're unresolved. Somebody is always walking away. They never sit down and actually cover the issues. And I can talk about this because I have a sister who does this too. She talks about me and the drag and all this kind of stuff, and she always has a problem with X, Y, and Z. However, a lot of times I just bite my tongue and I don't say nothing. I walk away. I go away. And then I realize that escalates the problem, because at that point you feel like you won because I walked away and I just choose not to say anything. So a few years ago I made it my point. Every time the door was open, I was going to walk through. So if you have a problem with it, I'm going to give you a rebuttal for it, and we're going to talk about it. And then when I started doing that, she didn't want to talk about it anymore. So yeah. It seems like we're getting on a bigger respect page now. So hey, maybe we're working towards the right thing. Sometimes you just have to stand up for yourself so that people, know, hey, I'm not a punk. You're not always right. And just because I don't say anything to you doesn't mean that you're right or that I agree. It just means that, bitch, I'm tired of fucking talking about it. So, yeah. I think for their particular issues, if Tamar would stick around to work out or talk out the issues, they'd be a lot better alone. But hey, we'll just see how this goes next week. Still chitter-chattering. Yeah. So other than that, I enjoyed the first episode. Looking forward to next week. Yeah. I think that's about it. It was something else I was gonna say. It was just, oh, yeah. Rest in peace, Morley Safer, the 60 Minutes host. Yes, he died at 84, so rest in peace, bruh. So until then, let a bitch get a like, a subscribe, a comment, something else you want to see me review, another TV show. Now, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I will. I'll DVR and I'll go back and binge watch it, or watch it without the commercial. So let me know if you want to see me review something else. Until the next time, bye.